Oh, here, let me fuck with the mic settings.
Oh, yes. We're so extremely aware that we're late.
We're very sorry. Also, we didn't get a whole abundance of questions this week.
No, we have a few. I have
you got some that got sent to you later? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see them now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We good?
Hello,
gay people. Okay. First of all, we got some questions about episode 12. So,
okay.
You got them? Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull them up. In terms of future hints, can you indicate when we're going to get into more of Zed's plot and backstory stuff? Episode 16, specifically.
Yeah. Episode 16 is... Talking about Zed's backstory is very complicated because Zed plays things a little close to the vest regarding his backstory because trauma.
The working title for episode 16 was "We Need to Talk About Zed."
God.
That's not what it's called now, but we just thought it was funny.
Yeah. By necessity of the circumstances, episode 16 is kind of Zed's first big info dump about his backstory, which even calling it a big info dump is, but like episode 16 is when we meet Zed's mom, and it's when he goes into some of his backstory stuff. So that's what I would call when we're getting into his backstory. It's kind of an ongoing thing, though. Like, Comp Duel characters just unpacking their trauma for 3 seasons.
Yeah. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Zed will be continuing to unpack his backstory well into like season 2.
Leo is completely enamored with Eleonora proposing marriage so soon. I would too, bro. Yes, so true.
Yeah.
Has he considered the potential angst of the lifespan difference between them? I don't think he's ever had or wanted a long-term relationship with anyone who's not an elf before. Eleonora, so this is new, right? He's joked about age with Zed before, but has he realized just how soon he'll outlive all his new friends, even if they live the fullest and most peaceful lives? Leo is emphatically not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Leo is electing to make that tomorrow Leo's problem.
Oh my god.
Well, and I mean, yeah, I guess it did come across like he was proposing marriage, but I mean, Leo has
extremely so. Yes.
Yeah. Leo has a bit of a different prospect on that, though, because like he said, like he thinks of things in terms of like political marriages and shit like that. Not that what he feels for Eleonora is political. He is stupid. Yeah. He is stupid in love with her. Like, let's not get it twisted. He is very much in love with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Leo had that thought like one time and then just decided, nope, that's going in the back of my head, and I'm putting that thought in a box, and I'm putting that box in another box, and then I'm mailing that box to myself, and when it arrives, I'll smash it with the hammer. Leo is electing to not think about it. He is not entertaining the thought. Well, if Zed gets to a high enough level, Zed just kind of lives forever, because that's a monk thing.
Monks get a form of timeless body, which means that I believe they can only die under very set circumstances.
I think the wording of it is that your body is not like victim to the effects of old age.
Yes, that was it.
Which, like, dying of natural causes, like that. Dying of natural causes is an effect of old age, scientifically.
Yeah.
Because like that's what makes you die of old age, is like your cellular,
So you could just interpret the player's handbook as just saying, Zed can't die.
Yeah, you know what?
Zed lives forever.
Yeah, I think that Zed deserves to live forever. So I think that we should just get him to a high enough level that happens.
Yeah. Just a gay man too stubborn to die.
Yeah, and too beautiful.
I'm going to answer that one at the end of the Q&A because it's a shorter one that we can't really talk about as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else do we have?
I do have others. Yeah. Yes, we have been asked to talk about the process of creating, first of all, Fee's God and the rest of the lore of episode 13.
Honestly,
without spoiling it.
So
this is a fun question for us to answer without spoiling our entire series.
we knew, we
Yeah.
knew what the cosmology was going
Yeah.
in, and like we knew what the different gods were. A lot of the development that I did for episode 13, at least, was based around that character design. I was really proud of that character design.
Yeah.
And like the idea of because Fee's god is so mysterious, and like that's a whole thing that like gets unpacked, throughout the rest of the, even throughout part of season 2, like it doesn't most of season 2 it doesn't really get resolved in season 1.
Yeah.
So this idea of this very mysterious god whose face you cannot see, I thought was really fun.
Yes. Also, I think there's something to be said about I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoiling the series. There's something to be said about how both Fee and Leo, their gods are characterized through them and through the parallels with them. Like, Kimbrel's characterization is entirely a response to how Barry has done Leo's characterization.
Yeah.
And I think the same can be said of Fee's god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night, and Al was like, I need to come up with a concise thing to say about Fee's religious arc, and then I turn around to them, because I was just sitting at the computer, I think I was editing or something, and without even turning around, I did my best John Mulaney voice, and I went, my god is a bitch, and I like her so much.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Fee's god. Honestly, Fee's whole thing with religion is very near and dear to my heart, for a lot of reasons, but like, the whole thing with episode 13 was very, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It was very much like Fee's god saying, yeah, you're not one of Kimbrel's, you're one of mine, was very much like, because Fee's entire life and like her entire identity has been tied to her magic for as long as she can remember. Like, that has been portrayed to her as the only thing that is valuable and special about her for her entire life. And it's the situation where Fee's going through all of these like revelations about Asheria and about her father especially, and going through that and having in the back of her mind be like, yeah, and my magic, which is the only thing that is special about me, is intrinsically tied to this man that I am quickly realizing I deeply dislike and distrust and do not want to be around. So how do I parse that out in my head? And it was just very important to me personally that, like, as that was happening and as she was, like, open to rethinking that, immediately you've got her god saying, actually, just so you know, this thing has never been tied to your father, and it has never been because of someone else. It has always been because of who you are, and because I, as this entity you don't really know, but like as this extremely powerful other entity, have always been trying to affirm your ability to make your own choices and your power to assert yourself, and it has never been tied to anyone else. Like, that was really... Fee's religious arc is very complicated because on the one hand, it's very much Fee has to be free to make her own choices, and Fee has to be forging that path for herself. But it's also like, I put it this way to a friend. I think, like, Fee is in constant dialogue with her god, and they disagree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But that dialogue is built on this bedrock of, like, understanding and this bedrock of belonging and acceptance that Fee has never had from anyone else.
Well, and notice that she didn't just show up and be like, hey, you work for me, and start giving her orders. Like, the first and only thing, really, like, throughout, it's a repeating thing throughout Fee's religious arc, and you guys will see that later, but, like, the first and only thing she asks for is a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust. Yeah. Like, yeah.
And it's also, like, even when and they do direct the course of... I'm trying to not spoil the rest of the season. When they do direct Fee to courses of action that are beneficial, it is always courses of action that Fee would have realized that she wanted to take very quickly anyway.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing that they said in episode 13 was, okay, your next step is Valgoldur, and, like, next Fee episode, I believe...
is when Fee figures out that, oh, shit, I need to go to Valgoldur.
Right! Okay.
Smash cut to the celestial plane.
Yeah.
I tell you these things for a reason.
Yeah. I was trying to give you a heads up, so she's gone. But yeah, it's very important to me and very interesting to me that they are, and I worry that us saying episode 13 is the start of Fee's religious arc has set up an expectation for like, oh yeah, this is going to be the next few Fee episodes and then it's done.
No, it's like the rest of the series.
Yeah, like, it's very important to me that like Fee is never going to be done learning and thinking and growing into her understanding of religion, because that's just not how it works. But like, there is always going to be a dialogue between her and her God, but like, there is an inherent level of learning and a level of understanding that is juxtaposed with, okay, I can learn a lot about this thing. There is never a point in my understanding that I am going to be rejected.
Yeah.
That was really important to me for Fee's development.
Yeah.
Because that's not something that Fee has ever experienced. Like, of the people in her life, like, Fee's understanding of how other people relate to her is her dad, who only likes her because of her magic. Elisha, who raised her because her dad asked her to. Fen, who is literally on payroll. And Kalessa, who was Leo's friend first and doesn't have anybody else.
And like, those things are not true.
Yes,
I mean, well, Moreland being a piece of shit is true, but like, you know, that's through Fee's lens, though. Like, you know, the motivations of those characters are actually not that, and a big part of the series is going to be her learning that. Yeah,
but like, at the point where Fee is at now, that is her understanding and her perspective on the way that other people relate to her. So it was really important to me to have somebody, even if it is a spooky god, say, actually, no, you as a person inherently have worth, and I will not reject you, and fuck off. Like, come on.
I'm gonna make you wish that I did.
Yeah. Aurora. Like that is.
You're gonna wish I would leave you alone.
Literally.
Which is kind of funny because like there's a little parallel with like Leo and Kimbrel there too.
Literally, yeah.
Even though, you know, like their approach to their separate religious arcs was obviously very different. You know, like Leo sought Kimbrel out, and things like that. But I mean, I think a lot of it, you know, there's interesting juxtapositions, but there's also interesting parallels in Leo and Fee's religious arcs because. I think I would say the summary of Leo's religious arc is fuck the church, and like you can forge your own relationship with the divine, because the structure of the Church of Kimbrel fucked Leo's life up forever. Yeah. Whereas his personal relationship with his God also maybe fucked his life up forever a little bit, but that was of his own volition.
Yeah, in a way that he picked.
But in a way, but at least in a way that he chose.
Yeah. And also, like, I think the juxtaposition there is very interesting because, like, Fee's religious arc is not going to hit its full stride until she has a community that she can immerse herself in that is related to her understanding of her religion, which is really important to me. But, and I think that juxtaposition is really interesting.
And Leo already knows the Church of Kimbrel sucks, so...
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. Other questions that I jotted down. Oh, how much more information would Fee have found in the library if not for 5 with advantage on that investigation check?
If you had rolled over a 15, we would not have had to do the big lore dump in episode 19, or in episode 18 that we did.
Interesting.
No, not that. Sorry. Right. No, sorry. I'm misthinking. Let me think. No.
Sorry, this is the bad thing about us recording the entire season ahead.
No, No, if you probably could have cracked the plot of the podcast wide open if you had rolled over a 15.
Interesting. Okay.
Because it had information about...
Oh, okay. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry that you guys didn't get that information. Trust me. Wow.
Yeah, you could have cracked the whole podcast wide open if you had rolled over a 15.
Yeah. But yeah, 5 with advantage was very. I believe I rolled 2 3s on that investigation check. With advantage, I rolled 2 3s.
Yeah, well, because I said that with a 5, you didn't look in any of the books. I was gonna say like with over over 5 or over, you got a surface level understanding.
Yeah.
10 to 15, you cracked open a book and got some minutia of information, and then 15 or over, you found the big one.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't know that it would have cracked the podcast wide open because I don't think that Fee would have had the context.
Yeah, I think it would have cracked the podcast wide open for the listeners.
It would have cracked the podcast wide open for.
Coughed up in my mouth.
Yeah, it would have cracked the podcast wide open for the listeners, but not the grand scheme of things. It wouldn't have cracked it open for Fee because she doesn't have the context.
It would have just created a sense of dramatic irony for the rest of the fucking campaign.
Yeah, that they're just running around trying to figure this shit out that Fee found in a book in season 1. Yeah.
That the listeners have already galaxy brained together.
So in retrospect, maybe it's good that you rolled clown shoes on that.
Yeah. Absolute fucking clown shoes. Oh man. Oh, also, Sophie wouldn't know what Kimrel looks like, but she hasn't really investigated any statue of him. Is she just assuming that that's Kimrel or unsure of what it is and just not interested because she's focused on her god? Okay.
Episode 15, everybody.
Episode 15. Here's the thing. Fee does not have the context to have realized. Here's the thing about how the Church of Kimrel portrays things is that it is very focused on Kimrel. Kimrel has blessed Astraria, and Kimrel is involved with all of Astrarian history, and Kimrel all the way down. So, I don't think it would have entered into Fee's brain.
That he would be part of a duotheistic religion.
Yeah, literally.
It's just not part of anything.
Yeah, it's not how he's ever been portrayed for her. I don't think it would have entered her brain.
That's like thinking that Jesus is part of the duotheology of Wicca. It's like two things that don't match up.
Yeah. Literally, I don't.
Which that is not the Jesus being part of Wicca thing, but
that would have ruined your life.
Well, I'm not Wiccan.
I know, but literally,
but it is true that Kimrel was part of this duotheistic religion, and that's another thing that the listeners figure out before Fee does.
Yeah, but it's such a cognitive dissonance that I don't think she even really thought about it. First of all, because she was focused on her god, but also it's such a level of cognitive dissonance that I don't think it would have even entered her brain to be like, oh, there's a second statue here. Wait a minute.
Must be Kimrel.
Must be Kimrel.
Because he's never, as far as Fee knows, he's never been portrayed as part of anything but a monotheistic religion. I would say
as monotheistic as anything can be when people have access to the actual plane and Dungeons and Dragons. But literally, I don't think it would have even occurred to Fee to wonder about it. And we'll unpack that later in the season. But
we'll unpack that in 2 episodes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I got a lot of very specific questions from one of our patrons.
I wonder who. I wonder who it could be.
We're not naming patrons when we answer questions. In the world map that's partially crumbled in episode 13, is the crumbled part of Tordoon hiding anything interesting?
It's not the crumbled part of Tordoon you need to worry about.
Yeah. Tordoon is not the relevant part of that map that is crumbled.
The parts that are relevant is the part in the far northwest area that crumbled, because obviously they showed up at that Silent City and Aramis was like, what the fuck? The crumbled part of that map that is...
Aramis showed up in the middle of a blizzard and said, my special interest, it betrayed me.
My special interest betrayed me.
Wait a minute.
But the crumbled part of that map that is relevant to later interests is not in Tordoon.
Yeah, there are a few things on that map that are coming up later that were crumbled away. And they are both plot relevant.
And one of them breaks very, very bad for our heroes.
Yeah. One of them results in the plot of season 2. And the other one results in the plot of the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Plot. That's the thing about how we constructed the plot, is that there's so much shit that doesn't pay off for so long, but that particular map pays off way quicker than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, everything you need to know about that map we have resolved by episode 2 of season 2.
And, like,
Yeah.
and a lot of the, well,
Yeah.
and, like, I'm looking forward to watching people, you know, unpack a lot of this stuff later. Because there are things like my very, very favorite thing that I'm just waiting to, like, watch the galaxy brains explode over is Sabine has an offhanded line in episode 9. Like, just totally off the cuff. You could easily forget it. About another character.
Yeah.
And when you guys meet that character, let's see, how many episodes later? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 21.
Almost an entire season.
1, 2, 3.
18 episodes, I believe.
18, yeah. And when you guys meet that character 18 episodes later, that line is going to haunt your ass.
Literally, it's going to just be, like, in the back of your brains, like, wait.
Yeah, hold on.
Sabine has a few offhanded lines in that episode.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a couple different characters. Some of whom we've already met. But
but like Sabine says a lot of stuff in the Beacon Part 1 that I think got overshadowed by the plot of the Beacon Part 1. But that, like, when you get to the end of the series, it's gonna be like, wait.
Well, and the thing about that is just that Sabine knows so much about so many things. Is that, like, Sabine will just, like, drop these plot seeds all over the place because she, like, just knows a bunch of shit and she knows a lot of people.
Yeah. And I love that about her.
Sabine really is the Kit Snicket of Comptool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a Kit Snicket thing, actually, now that I think about it, because, like, she did a lot of that in ASOUE.
We both really liked a series of unfortunate events. It was very formative for both of us as creators.
Well, and especially, like, for formulation of the Beacon and, like, Sabine as a character. Because I made Sabine as bait for you. I'm going to be real with you.
I know. Here's the thing about being friends with someone for 10 years. They know about all of your childhood crushes, and they're mean.
Who did I have a childhood crush on that was anything like Zed? Because you said you made Zed to target.
No, that was just because of your type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was because I know your type. Oh man. But yeah, the Kid Snicket thing was so mean. It was so directly targeted and so mean.
And it was so funny because, like, I expected you to call my shot on that and not go for her as a romantic interest.
But
I know.
She.
I know. And, like, in retrospect, I was a fool for that.
Yeah. You said she had a gold canine tooth in, like, the first 5 minutes of her appearance.
And I was a fool for that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to be the route you went down.
Who did you expect? Let's play this like a Dragon Age game. Who did you expect feed a romance?
Kalessa.
That's fair. Yeah.
Or I expected Fecule to be real. Like, as a V. Yeah.
That's fair. You were pushing Felessa for the first few episodes.
I was pushing it really hard.
Yeah.
And again, it's like the thing with Leo and Irvine. Like, would it be so bad if they kissed?
Would it be so bad?
No.
But also, it's just not how the cookie crumbles. I was really hoping that Leo Vane was at least a little bit, at least a little bit of Leo Vane. Here's the thing. Every character that I introduce for Leo
was a romance
in season
interest.
1, except Celica and Talindra because they're too old.
Yeah.
was a potential romance for Leo, and I tried to make them all appealing, and just instantly you latched onto Zed so hard.
I'm weak for a bear, man. I don't know what to tell you.
And Eleonora, because Leonora is very good, but you as a player latched onto Zed so instantly. You just gobbled up that sweet bait.
I think well, because Zed was only in episode 2 for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
At the end of episode 2, I was like, that one. Yeah.
Gotta figure out how to make that happen. And I was sitting here looking at my season 1 notes like, okay. But I have, and Barry was like, no, Zed.
Yeah.
Okay.
my little Leo Huel brain was just like chittering away by the end of season 2. Because Eleonora was mean to him. So like he's already sold. He's sold on that one. Yeah. Eleonora was mean and made fun of him.
I made Ravane too wholesome. And I made another character that we will see soon too shifty. That was my mistake.
Well, and also you introduced that character after Leo had developed very, very, very big trust issues for reasons. Yeah.
That's true.
You introduced a very untrustworthy character like immediately after Leo developed very, very bad trust issues.
Yeah. Why couldn't you have distrusted Bobbin from the beginning?
And the cookie might have crumbled a little fucking differently, Al, if I had figured out that slimy little bastard was behind everything, but I didn't because I'm stupid. So I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah. Your instinct to trust NPCs, first of all, completely sidelined Bobbin. Completely just absolutely let Bobbin do whatever he wanted. And
because he was nice to me.
Yeah. And you cut out like my hints at a Wilhelmina subplot that just never happened now because Barry trusted Wilhelmina so implicitly.
Well, okay, Leo's implicit like that's not even Barry having an instinct to trust NPCs, and like my whole thing about if somebody is nice to me and shows me human kindness one time, that I will die for them, which is something that I project onto Leo. I'm not going to lie about it. But, like, Leo's implicit trust of Wilhelmina is because she's a good mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, Leo has a thing. I don't want to say Leo has a thing with moms, because that sounds weird. But no, Leo... Like,
Season 2, Leo has some fun with moms. I don't know.
No. Well, Leo is very willing to trust people that he perceives to be good mothers.
Yeah. Because
like that is something that he lost, and like I think is still like a very big, very like raw, bloody hole in him that he is looking to fill. So like that's why he like immediately just implicitly trusted Wilhelmina, because he could tell that she was a good mom. And like he doesn't like Celica and Talindra because they don't like him.
Yeah.
If they were to tell him something that they perceived as a fact, Leo would instantaneously believe them. Yeah. He does not like them. He trusts them implicitly because they are good mothers. Mm-hmm. And it's like that with like Zed, like we find out it's like that with Zed's moms too. Like Leo has a sort of thing, even like with his trust issues that he's going to develop after the Bobbin thing, where like if he meets somebody that he perceives to be a good mother, like he just kind of instantly trusts that person.
Yeah. Let's go to the other question in this list. Somebody asked for a lore drop. So, this is more of a lore drop question about some of the background players in Leo's plotline. Could I ask the names of Lubash's son, Lubash's wives, and Euphemia's niece, who she wants to be her heir? So, here's the thing. I have very rough sketches. If anybody wants to ask, by the way, lore dumps about any of the minor characters in season 1, the way that I did characters for season 1 was I had the roughest possible sketches, pretty much.
Well, in that way, if I just went down that path, that way you weren't just throwing a bunch of stuff into the fireplace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because that was the kind of balance we were trying to reach with season 1, was we had a lot of stuff. We had as much as we needed to have developed so that we had the background that we needed going into season 1. Because season 1 is so much exposition and so much like bare bones development
and world building.
Yeah.
Well, especially like on Fee's Wing, it's like so much world building.
Yeah, but we also wanted to have the room to go whatever ways we needed to go with the plot without chucking a bunch of weird shit either into the podcast of, by the way, here's this character who has no speaking lines. Here's their entire life story. Bad. Or just like throwing away like pages and pages of character development.
We were trying to find that Crown of Candy balance, like how they like name drop the backup characters, like just in case they show up later.
But like that was kind of the worst balancing act of season 1. Anyway, but Lubash's wives are named. One of them is Rosario, and the other is Ara. That's spelled Ahra. I tried to go with a mix of names in the real world and like high fantasy names for a lot of the Tordunian NPCs, just because
there's so much.
It's so much a melting pot. But anyway, and his oldest son, because Lubash has like several children, but we only interact with his oldest son, who is his heir, is Karash, which is Karash. And Euphemia's niece is Abigail. I don't have a last name for her. It's not Iron Splitter. I never came up with her last name.
So she's Euphemia's sister's kid.
Yeah, Euphemia doesn't have any brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why Euphemia is on the throne. I never came up with her last name. Fic writers. But her first name is Abigail. She's like 25, I think I said. She's like a little bit older than Eleonora. Yeah. She doesn't spend a lot of time at court necessarily because it is so much her aunt is fighting for her to be recognized as her heir that
she doesn't even really have a place there yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like she doesn't really have a place there, and there's this worry with both of them that like if she's hanging around too much, it's gonna seem like Euphemia is putting undue amounts of pressure on her fellow monarchs to accept her like into the council, and like it's a very delicate balancing act as far as the politicking in Tordune. Which is also why, like...
Well, yeah, because you said that potentially there was going to be a Dreadbridge arc, right? Mm-hmm. But then Lockamark ended
up... There was supposed to be,
and then Lockamark ended up going way longer than we thought it was going to.
Here's the thing. Dreadbridge was supposed to be episode 12, and then we were going into... Or, no, sorry, not episode 12, episode 10, because Lockamark was only supposed to be 6 and 8. And then immediately we were going to talk about Euphemia and her niece in episode 10. And it just didn't happen because Lockamark ended up being 3 episodes. And then we were going to have like more of a rapport with Euphemia going into episode 12. And it was just...
It just didn't happen. Yeah. Well, that was like, you know, and like so much was like you were saying, you know, so much was just kind of, we were just trying to keep the balls in the air on, you know.
Yeah. I think... Part of me wants to say if we had the choice to redo season 1, we would have structured it differently. But I don't know that
I would have made it longer.
Yeah.
I would have made it longer.
Yeah. It should have been longer, but also like we had already planned out so much that like it felt weird to shove more episodes in there, and we were worried about not having enough plot for extra episodes, and we were worried about having uneven seasons because like season 1 has a very definite end point.
Which we knew when we started recording episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing about, like, we know the major beats of the entire campaign.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing about the co-DM'd format, is that you have to know the major beats of the story you're trying to tell, and then, like, you control all the other little moving parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, we just knew that we had that definite end, and we felt that we had, like, paced it well enough in 21 episodes to kind of get there.
Yeah, and it ended up not being the case.
Yeah.
We should have had more episodes.
The back like quarter of season 1.
Oh my god.
I don't want to say it's rushed because the episodes get longer.
Like
episode 18 is an hour and 20 minutes long.
Like we feel like the pace that we went at is fine for the story, but like upon reflection, we should have had a couple more episodes in there. We should have just slowed things down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, especially because like just at the end, like, you know, when we were doing like 18 through 21, it felt so much like we got to get this stuff in there. We like, this is all the shit we haven't covered yet. Like, we got to shove it in there. We got to go. And like I feel like as storytellers, we found a way to kind of organically make it all make sense.
Yeah.
But boy, howdy, it is like, buckle your fucking seatbelt, kids. Here we go. Like we are just going. Like, you know, and we said that like after, what was it, like episode 9 on, it's just like the season's just going, and you're just like along for the ride, strapping your seatbelt.
I think we were going at it from the end from the viewpoint of like a lot of TTRPG shows have a problem with there's no plot for like 3 episodes, and we overcompensated.
And we had too much plot in all the episodes.
Yeah. Which, like, everything that happened in season 1 needed to happen in season 1. Everything needed to happen in the way that it happened because the overarching plot needed to be set up by the end point of season 1. Because
that's when we actually get into the overarching plot.
Yeah, like, there was nothing that we could have moved, but, like...
Well, especially on Fee's arm of things, too, because, you know, like, once Fee is... Yeah, like, you know, once we leave Australia, we ain't coming back till season 3. Yeah. So...
And I think especially in, like, the back half of the season, it shows that our recording times are, like, 3 hours.
Because the story gets a lot tighter. It is very much like fucking fasten your seatbelts.
There is no time to stop. Which is a testament to Barry's editing that it all works, but, like, it really shows how much time we spend recording in how much plot is in each episode.
Yeah, because the polished, like, final edit of episode 18 is an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Our recording time was close to 3 hours on that.
Yeah.
And...
Because we recorded 18 and 19 the same night. I think we ended up...
We recorded 18 in the morning, and then we recorded 19 that night.
No, we ordered 18 in the afternoon because we had to order dinner between episodes.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then that's the night that we were up until like 11 p.m.
Yeah. Like it ended up being like 7 hours of recording time for 18 and 19.
Yeah.
It was.
But like we wanted to do it on the same day because it's a 2-part episode. 18 and 19 is a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And then the raw audio for the season finale is like, I think over 3 hours, but it's
Yeah.
But that's going to trim down a lot because it's all combat.
Yeah. Episode 21 is going to be very interesting to see how it shapes out.
I just want to see what it trims down to. I'm really interested to see like what all of that raw audio trims down to, because like I feel like a lot of it's going to get cut out because a lot of it is just stretches of silence, because episode 21 is what happens when 2 people run 11 combatants for 3 hours. So
it was a fun day.
It was a fun day, and I had I had a blast recording the finale. Yeah, I had so much fun.
I think a lot of that, though, I think it was very fun. I also think a lot of it was like the euphoria of we're not in season 1 anymore.
Yeah, like I'm proud of season 1. I am.
Yeah,
like, we did a lot.
I'm proud of how it ended up.
I'm ready to not fucking be in season 1 anymore.
God, we're so tired of we were so tired of recording.
Season 1 is so heavy, and like, and
that's because a lot of it is exposition, and a lot of it is world building, and a lot of it is setting things up for later.
Well, and a lot of it is just like very deep traumatic shit for Leo and Fee. Like, and that's not to say that like there's not going to be trauma unpacking happening in the rest of the campaign, because like literally the whole story we're trying to tell is a story about recovering from trauma. Yeah. But it's so heavy in season 1. And like we get our first honest to God filler arc in season 2. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do the filler arc.
I'm ready for filler. It's not. There just wasn't time in season 1.
Yeah, like God,
slow down.
Oh God, I'm so tired of living in season 1.
We're very proud of how season 1 ended up.
We're so tired of existing in it.
We would have made some different choices if we had the hindsight that we have now, but we're very proud of how it ended up. But also, wow, just because of how much setup needed to happen in season 1. And I feel like that is one of the things that it's like, season 1 feels like a lot if you don't know where any of the plot is going. Like, it feels like a lot of just like trauma getting shoved in there for people who don't know where the plot is going. But that's all shit that's getting unpacked. Yeah, like we're sitting in the DM's chair, like, no, we need to talk about this so we can unpack it later, and so we can have any fucking build up to the main plot of the series.
Well, which is what I think not separates, but that's what I think kind of fundamentally makes like the format that we're experimenting with here, like way different from another TTRPG like actual play scenario, because those GMs that have like a whole party at the table, like everything is those broad strokes that you're talking about, where like you just kept everything as amorphous as possible. That's their whole campaign, whereas like because we are DMing each other and because our stories are intertwined, like we have to have those beats. So like we have to know like, oh, this is going to have to get unpacked here. And this is going to have to get unpacked here. And unfortunately, like what that just kind of shapes out to is season 1 is just, you're just going. You're just like strapped into the roller coaster and you're going.
The roller coaster just doesn't stop. Yeah. But we're very proud of it. And I think a lot also with the format that we're doing is like, with a lot of other TTRPG shows, so much of the plot needs to be nebulous and is very much controlled by a direction your players want to go in. We weren't able to go in other directions that we wanted to because we are writing the same, because we like put the plot together, and we know exactly where we need to end up, especially with season 1. Like the back half of season 1 is as much of a crunch as it is because we were both very aware of, okay, we need to get here at this exact point. So that the end of the season can happen, because if the end of the season doesn't happen, the rest of the series is shot. It's gone.
I mean, like, but on the other hand, like, on one hand, like that's an obstacle to overcome, and like that's something that's hard. But also, it gave like that crunch and that need to be at that point when we needed to be. Gave birth to my favorite mechanic of the game that we've done so far. When I say that 18 and 19 are a 2-part episode, when you guys
don't spoil it.
No, when you guys realize what the mechanic is, because you won't realize it till 19. Because we go all the way through 18 and it's not really questioned, but then the same shit starts happening in 19. And once you realize what that mechanic is, you're gonna lose your fucking mind.
I'm expecting angry messages.
So like game wise, like that crunch did give birth to my favorite mechanic that we've used the entire game. But oh my god, were we ready to be done with it? Like the fact that we're done recording season 1
it's such a weight off of our
shoulders. My god, like episodes 18 through 21, I had agita like in my heart. It was so bad.
I had such like 6 Saturday nights in a row. I couldn't get to sleep until 2 a.m. and then we had to get up at 9 to start to get our recording stuff together. And it was
okay, like please let's just fucking get season 1 over with. Which but I feel like despite the fact that we were like really ready to
be very proud of it. But
despite the fact that we were like ready to be done with it, I don't think we phoned it in because like your best acting of the whole season.
God. 17 and 19 were some of, not even just in the podcast, 17 and 19 is some of the best acting I've done in my life, and I'm very proud of it.
And like they're not shitting you. Like it's it's a lot.
Certainly the most effort I've ever put into voice acting because holy shit.
I think my moment for that was 16.
Yeah, 16 was good. Mm-hmm.
Because so much of 18 is like we gotta cram all the lore in there.
18 was a lot of lore dump, which Leo had such a character development heavy season and such a lore light season, I feel, compared to Fee.
Well, because Fee we just had to cram all that Australian stuff in there because we're not gonna get it again. So.
We're not gonna get it again, and we needed to have it by mid season too. But so it was kind of a role reversal in that. Episode 19 is Fee character development all the way down.
Whereas 18 is like, we're going to shove all of the lore, all of the lore that we haven't gotten to yet is getting crammed.
All the lore that we need before we do season 2 is going right in 18.
I think 16 and 20 are my ones for acting that I was really proud of. There's a scene in 20 that made me actually cry in the chair.
Yikes. 16 and 20 were very good acting for you. Casey. I do have a couple more questions in here. Oh, hey, what's up with the Silent City not easily giving up its dead?
Well,
Please, Barry, explain.
Well, it turns out in a country that is steeped in necromancy for thousands and thousands of years, when you have a whole city that dies really awful, tragic deaths
in a very short amount of time.
In what is one of 4 magical hotspots in the country.
Yeah.
The ghosts get a little rowdy.
And also one of the biggest cities that existed in the country at that time.
In the ancient world, yeah.
Well, yeah. In, like, that portion of Illyri, like, Omogroth was unprecedentedly large.
Yeah.
Because it was before a lot of the industrialization of Guldur. Because Ashuria is a very old place.
Yeah. Like,
Ashuria is old.
Like, yeah, we've said this in a couple other Q&As, but the, like, cosmological and historical aspect of Australia goes back 50,000 years.
Yeah.
And it's very old.
I believe you said Omogroth was the oldest silent city.
Omogroth was the oldest site. Arabe mistakenly dated it. She said that it was 15 to 20,000 years old. That's because the whole place is magically preserved because of its proximity to that magic. Like,
fascinating.
Yeah, that place is old as shit. It might not be 50,000 years old.
Yeah.
It is close to it.
It's the oldest surviving city that we're going to see in the podcast.
Yeah,
at least in campaign 1.
Yeah, and I know that archaeologically, like, a lot of things, don't make sense. Like, after 50,000 years, like, all this shit wouldn't still be standing. That's why I used the like proximity to the portals and the proximity to that magic to kind of like hand wave it.
Arcana ex machina.
Arcana ex machina, exactly.
I love to be funny and delightful.
Here, honey, he cries. Can you feed him?
The dog is losing his mind.
I use the bathroom first.
Woody Munch. Okay.
But yeah, no, the Omogroth Silent City is old as balls, and the reason that all of the Silent Cities are in as good of shape as they are is because of proximity to the portals and the magic that kind of goes through them and surrounds them, and that's what's preserving a lot of the stuff.
I have one more that was sent to me. I don't know if we can really answer this. I think we might be able to answer it so vaguely. Where my thought is. Yes, Shell spotted in the background. We are looking very hard at this question, figuring out. Hang on. It's the question about the lighthouse. What's the connection between the lighthouse and Luxtagon? I feel like we can answer this extremely vaguely.
What's the connection between the lighthouse and Luxtagon?
Was the question, yeah.
There is one. I feel like that's the extent that we can answer it.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
The answer to your question is...
There sure is one.
Yeah. And we can't elaborate without blowing the entire plot of the book.
So yeah, you guys are free to theorize about that, and
it sure is connected. You noticed it. Good job.
The fucking triangle of the beacon, the lighthouse, Luxtagon.
Yeah, literally.
It's all there sure are connections.
There sure are connections there.
We can't tell you what they are.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay. I think it's time to open it up for
silly questions. Put them in the chat.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even have to be silly.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody that's not a patron, has questions,
Yeah.
Because that was just us getting through the patron questions.
Yes.
Buddy, stop taking the trash can and stop hitting it with your tail.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, our dog is losing his goddamn mind right now.
It is Woody's dinner time.
It sounds like he's being seriously injured. No, that's just the noise he makes when he wants to eat.
Yeah. It's just his hungry noise. Anyway, questions in the chat.
Oh my god, Woody.
Dude. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Sit.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a lot of things that people have come up with very early in the show that are just like, you aren't supposed to know that yet. You can't have that information.
Which maybe that means we're bad about tipping our hand, but
Yeah, well. there's been a lot of, yeah.
But there's also been some buck wild shit that's been suggested too.
Wow.
So I think it's like one of those things where it's like even a broken clock is wrong like twice a day. Like
oh man, just some of the stuff we've seen from our patrons.
Evil Knievel couldn't have made that leap. Y'all sure did.
you don't have to be a dick about it, babe.
That
Jesus.
wasn't being a dick. That was like, y'all did good.
Oh, you made the leap. Oh, okay,
Yeah, you
okay,
made the
okay.
leap. That was a compliment.
Okay.
Bye, Chelsea.
Bye, I'm going back to my cave now.
Oh man.
No, welcome to my cave.
God. But yeah, oh man.
But yeah, it's well, and the funny thing is that like a lot of the shit that has made us like look at each other and panic was when people were just making like dumb jokes, like people who like totally weren't being serious and were like, haha, what if this happened? And we were like, yeah, that'd be fucked up.
Fucked up, huh?
Again, I think of that one time that I saw somebody say something like, oh my god, what if Leo spends his last 3rd level spell slot sending ascending to Soren and then doesn't have a 3rd level spell slot when he needs it? And I just had to be like, yeah, that'd be fucked up if that happened, huh?
Wild, right? Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. But it is nice to like have people send us theory.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Like,
and
and
enjoy it a lot.
And we have kind of grown up enough as creators that we're not going to tip our hands too much anymore and tell people when they're right or wrong. And sometimes people make right theories, and sometimes people make really wrong ones. In terms of like the overarching thing of the plot, like that's like have whatever headcanons you want.
Yeah,
like in terms of the plot of the podcast, though, we've had a couple people like call our shots from like 3 seasons off, and we've looked at each other and been like, "Oh shit,
oh fuck." Oh man, it's very interesting, which I think is the benefit of having our entire plot worked out before we started recording.
Yeah.
We have it all worked out, and everything has already been set in stone from the beginning. Wow. Oh man. But yeah. God, I can't wait for our fucking filler arc in season 2. Oh my god.
We haven't started recording season 2 yet. We haven't started recording
season 2. We want to finish all of production for season 2.
Yeah, so like basically what we're doing is we have 18, and then we need to do our final listen through of 19.
Yes, which we're going to do right after this.
Tonight, yeah.
And then I'm going to bang out the 14 transcript.
Yeah, and then I need to edit 20 and 21.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need to edit 2020. I need to edit 21. Oh god, 3 hours of combat. Okay.
It's okay. It can be up to an hour long. It can be a little more than an hour long.
It might be a little longer than that, but
it can't be an hour and a half. We have been very firm with ourselves for like episode length.
If it's what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do? It's episode 21. Are we gonna do an episode 21B? What am I gonna do?
I don't know. It won't be an hour and a half long. It's 3 hours, yes, but it's
are you manifesting that?
I'm manifesting that.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I am never wrong. And
so it can't be an hour and a half long. But what if it is?
It won't. Episode 21B. Wouldn't that be funny if for all of our crunch to get everything in 21 episodes, we
and it's like 5 minutes long because it can't be longer than an hour and a half. No, Are you kidding me?
No, obviously. It won't be.
It won't be. There's a lot of dead space.
Yeah,
there's a lot of dead space.
Combat.
Yeah,
Combat gets trimmed.
there's a lot of dead space for 2 people running 11 combatants. It won't be. But
And we're dumb. And we're stupid. A lot of the dead space is us doing basic arithmetic.
And also click, 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 because we had 11 character sheets up on our computer.
Literally. Oh, I forgot this character had this ability. Wait!
Yeah, we did have to redo a couple turns. I remember we had to redo that with Ereve a couple times because Ereve's got some fucked up shit going on because she's a ranger rogue multi-class.
Because Ereve had insightful fighting and hunter's mark that she had to get up in the first 2 rounds. Yep. It was a fun thing to record. Honestly, episode
I did have fun. I had a ball.
Was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun.
I don't ever want to run 11 combatants in one combat again.
We're going to have to. Barry, the end of the campaign.
Oh, God.
Barry's just remembered that the end of our campaign exists.
We're going to have to run like 20 combatants.
Yeah. That's not a spoiler. It's just us saying.
But and that's not to go too deep into like our podcast planning, but I feel like, some of those later battles in the series, because we're going to have so many people involved by that point, we can go like end of task balance rules on it where it's like, and then this NPC does this cool shit. Like, and
it happens in the background where nobody has to look at it too hard.
Or roll a dice about it. Yeah.
I don't have to roll any D20s for this. It's all flavor. Zed knocks out 6 people because he can, because it's on his character sheet.
Because it's on his character sheet, so of course he can do it. Yeah.
He doesn't have to roll for that. The audacity to make Zed Stonebloom roll for something. Oh.
God.
It's going to be so great when we do our second campaign and we're not running Dungeons and Dragons. And we don't have to do D&D combat rules. Monster of the Week combat rules are so fun. It's just, do you hit the thing? Cool.
You do that.
You do that. Roll 2 dice. Meanwhile, we're running fucking Dungeons and Dragons combat, and it's like, okay, so I rolled this, and now I roll these 3 separate types of die for the damage, and...
Although that has shaken up to be kind of fun in a couple
really
of our combats.
But...
I just, oh man. Yeah. That incidents where we were 2 people running 11 combatants was...
Episode 21's fun.
A lot.
It's a good episode.
It is. It was, I had so much fun. Yeah.
Very genuinely, it's a good episode. We had a lot of fun recording it. And it's going to be good, and it's not going to be an hour and a half long. It's not.
You're manifesting it.
It's not.
Although, I don't know. I've been thinking about, asking people about how they'd feel about longer episodes.
Yeah.
Just because of our crunch at the end of season 1. Again, I don't feel like anything really got sacrificed.
No.
But boy, howdy, you're strapped in and on the roller coaster. It's just a lot really fast.
Episode 18 being an hour and 20 minutes long killed me. And episode 19 is not far behind. I think that 2-part episode shook out to be, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, right? All told? It ended up, Mm-hmm.
If both the characters are there, how do y'all run combat? Because you're co-DMing. So what we did...
take turns.
We take turns, and what we did was we paired off all of the combatants.
Yeah.
And then, we had people, cross out of that and into other parts of the combat.
Yeah.
But what we did for episode 21 was I gave Al control over all of Team Fee.
Yeah.
And then I had control of all of Team Leo. So, I was running combat for Zed and Leo and, everybody on that team and Ravane and, Celican, and everybody, so that, if I needed them to help out Leo with the objective of the battle, that I could, I think I had Ravane use Sweetie, as a familiar to, go give Leo the help action at one point. I don't really remember. It's all a blur.
You'll see it when the episode comes out.
But so what we did was, I had control of all of Team Leo and Al had control of all of Team Fee, and then we had paired everybody off.
Co-DMing combat is basically just make it as easy as possible for yourself and just run one combatant at a time.
Yeah.
And just like, so what we had done was after we paired everybody off, we rolled initiative in such a way that each pair was going.
Yeah,
in
so
their
we
own
rolled initiative for each pair.
Yeah. And like we rolled, when we rolled Fee and Leo's initiative, we just rolled whichever of them is higher, all of their friends go first.
Which in this case it was Team B, because Fee gets the alert feats.
So it's +8 to initiative, baby.
But yeah, like I thought the way we designed the combat was really fun. And it made it definitely
and we'll
easy.
talk about it more when we actually release the episode.
Yeah, but
because we're trying to do this less.
Yeah. Well, that's not any spoilers.
Yeah,
but
it's not spoilers, but it's just yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh god, I'm ready to be done living in season 1.
Season 2 is gonna be so fun.
We get a filler arc. We get like 6 episodes where we just get to relax.
Where it's just character development and there's no weird plot dumps. There's no massive lore dumps for 6 whole episodes. Oh man. Sorry, we are just like both so euphoric with being done with season 1 that it's just oh.
I think I just laid down for like an hour after we finished the finale. I was like, oh god, it's done.
Oh, we've hit the hour mark. This is the end of our Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Any last minute questions, pop them in the chat, and then we're going to log off.
Yeah, we'll give it like 3 minutes. Anything in before the 3-minute mark, before 103, we'll answer.
So 2 minutes. That's how that math does.
Sorry.
Oh, man. But yeah. Episode 1 was, or not episode 1, season 1 was a lot for us to organize.
Yeah. And it only gets easier from here, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are going to co-DM a game, get ready for like the first third of your campaign to fucking knock the shit out of you, is all I'm saying.
Well, and also we set it up to have a very specific plot.
Yeah.
And not a question, but hi, Fees God. So true. So true. I love them. I would take a bullet for them. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do some more of the development on Fees God because they just interest me so much.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2, baby. Yeah. And also we get to do cosmology dumps in season 2, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the big cosmology dump is season 3, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are Fee's God's pronouns? She, they. Yeah. Yeah. Which I believe we did use both in the episode. Yeah,
in episode 13. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's predominantly she, like, occasionally, because I don't, like, there's not a lot of they used, like, after 15.
Yeah, but I
agree, though, yeah.
And I want to make sure we're keeping that.
It's constant, yeah. Well, but because they don't really show up, you know, after that.
Yeah, literally. And we try to use I think in the podcast we have used God and Goddess for them interchangeably. So that is also, yeah. How excited are you guys that episode 13 has happened and now you can talk about Feast Religious Arc? So excited.
They've been like a fucking tea kettle for like a week.
There was, since the beginning of the podcast, because we recorded up to 14. No, we recorded 13. All the way through 13 before we released any of the episodes. And I have been sitting here since the beginning, like, I want to talk about Fee's Religious Arc, and I can't say anything until episode 13 comes out. Like, literally nothing, no information can come out until episode 13, because anything that I say about Fee's Religious Arc is predicated upon the knowledge that there's a God switch. Anything that I say about Fee's Religious Arc is predicated upon the knowledge that she was raised in the Church of Kimmerl, and that is not where her religious arc is ending, and everything was a spoiler. For so many episodes. Everything was a spoiler, and I felt insane. I feel like I overhyped episode 13 because of that, because I was so excited to be able to say things.
I don't think you overhyped episode 13. I really like episode 13.
I really like episode 13. Episode 13 is good, but I feel like I put a lot of emphasis on episode 13 just because it needed to come out before I could talk.
13, 15, 17, 19 are my favorite Fee episodes.
Yeah.
Like I would say 13, 17 are my favorite Fee episodes.
But like just so much of it, because like, and especially because like so much of my like thoughts and meta about Fee's characterization is predicated upon her religious arc. So like I couldn't say anything for 13 episodes.
You'll need to buckle your fucking seatbelts for season 2. Like, yeah, we have a filler arc, but well, and it's kind of a switch too, because we've talked about this, how like season 1, it's very much like Leo gets a lot of the character development, and then like Fee gets a lot of the world building. Yeah, that totally flips on its head for season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is just Leo gets to know more things about the world, while Fee actually has fun for the first time in her life. While Fee gets in touch with herself as a person for the first time in her fucking life. Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and dip. This was fun. We'll catch you guys.
I'm so excited I can say things. Okay, yes.
Episode 14 comes out on Friday.
Yes, Thursday for the patrons.
Yeah, Thursday for the patrons, 9 a.m. both days.
Yes.
Fun fact, we waited a month between recording episode 13 and episode 14 because we were so scared of recording episode 14. Yeah,
there's some stuff that happens in episode 14.
And then the thing that we were scared of happening, happened.
Yeah.
So, have fun, guys.
Have fun.